Welcome to this continuation of Proverbs 31. So find yourself a comfortable resting place. Close your eyes and deepen your breath as we get started. Today's meditation is a focus on Proverbs 31, verse 14. She is like the merchant ships, bringing her food from afar. She is like the merchant ships, bringing her food from afar. Don't go too fast here. Just let the word sink in and see what it brings to mind. Maybe merchant ships, water, the scent of the ocean, bustling markets, or the mouth-watering aroma of spices. In these few words, we encounter another description of a godly woman as a woman full of courage, diligence, and value. She is like the merchant ships, bringing her food from afar. The verse doesn't say that the woman walked across the street. No, she is like the merchant ships, bringing her food from afar. In biblical times, merchant ships would travel thousands of miles, and depending on your location, ships would arrive and depart every day with essential things like medicines, food, supplies, as well as luxury items. Likewise, a Proverbs 31 woman's efforts extend beyond her immediate surroundings to provide good things for her family. You provide sustenance and nourishment to those around you. Now, that might not always be in the form of food, but it is always true for a godly woman. You know that bringing the best is often a hard and demanding task, but you have the desire to do it anyway, because this is who you are. This is who a Proverbs 31 woman is. And this is describing you and the heart of who God says you are and who we all aspire to embody. Proverbs 31:14. She is like the merchant ships, bringing her food from afar. And if you feel intimidated by this Proverbs 31 woman, because I know I can be, remind yourself that she is an archetype, someone to look up to and learn from as we follow in the footsteps of Christ. In each of these meditations, and whatever aspect of the Proverbs 31 woman we're looking at, always remember to give yourself grace, show yourself mercy, be kind to yourself. She is like the merchant ships, bringing her food from afar. Just like our previous meditation on eager hands, verse 14 also uses practical but symbolic actions to illustrate a greater point. Just like merchant ships, we as godly women can approach the biblical charge to nourish our families with joy, strength, and grace. We can see what is needed and bring that nourishment to those around us, whether that's practically, like with food, or spiritually, as with prayer. Your intention and energy is infused into every act of provision, no matter how big or small, transforming them into an expression of care and love that is a wonderful testimony. Take the opportunity right now to purpose to be wholehearted in everything that you do. Wholehearted and deliberate, not just busy going through the motions. I love that this verse 14, uses the image of not just any old ship, but a merchant ship. Imagine, back in biblical times, the careful amount of planning and effort that went into commissioning a merchant ship, the potential treacherous journey, and then when it returned, the reward of bringing back something special, exotic, valuable, and treasured. And maybe we don't literally sail ships, for which many of us can be thankful, but see the similarities in your life. The careful planning you do for meetings, meal planning, housekeeping, the effort you go through to see your plans through, and the reward that comes in the end, whether that be as a thank you, a future crown in heaven, or the warm sense of accomplishment inside. Remember that it's not the size of the task that defines its significance, but the attitude that we bring towards it. She is like the merchant ships, bringing her food from afar. And just as important as these actions and attitudes are, also constantly remind yourself that you are not left alone with this challenging endeavor. We have God Himself, who promises to refresh and nourish us, as well as our own crew of godly brothers and sisters. Like Proverbs 11:25 says, "A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will themselves be refreshed." As we come to the end of this Friday meditation, thank you so much for joining me, and give yourself a pat on the back for taking the time to do something good for yourself as well. So go ahead and wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bring yourself back to the present moment ground yourself wherever you're seated. Take a couple deep breaths in and out. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes.